Now they have opened a Pandora's box where you do not require any document to be a voter. It means that tomorrow, like Maharashtra, people can be enrolled, fake voters can be enrolled in masses without any document.
What I want to ask you is that the circular which came out on 24th of June and now the advertisement which has come out, it clearly shows a U-turn. But is this U-turn now more dangerous? What are your fears as a political party? What do you think can the Election Commission and the ruling party do now after taking this U-turn?
This U-turn is equally dangerous. Number one, what they are doing is they have said that those who are not submitting papers, they will be examined separately. What does this separately mean? Because 25th, 24th of July, this exercise will finish. And 1st August, draft electoral rolls are to be published. This is the Election Commission's timeline. So within 6 days, are they going to do a separate exercise? Election Commission has not answered to that. Now with this new decision of Election Commission that you just have to fill form without photograph, that requirement of paper trail has also ended. Now it means all those 4 lakh volunteers can get any number of form filled and get them registered as voters. That is our question. So earlier disenfranchisement was happening. Now fake voters threat has come up. On every step, Election Commission is coming out not just confused, but is coming out as a scheming Election Commission. When Election Commission says that in Bihar, all those voters born between 87 and 2003 will be required to submit the birth certificates of their parents. Then it was belligerent in its meeting with India Alliance leaders that this is the right thing to do. Belligerent to the extent that it actually became not an empire, but a player in this entire thing. We have never seen such an Election Commission having such a meeting on a discordant note, on a belligerent note. There's enough pressure at every level now. Courts, media, ground. What else? What else do you expect political parties to do? And these are not small matters. This entire exercise will have to be rolled back by Election Commission. Mark my words today.
Hello and a warm welcome to HW News Network, your one-stop show, truth be told, for some engaging and thought-provoking conversations. Days after the opposition dubbed Election Commission's special intensive revision of the electoral rolls as vote bandi, the poll body on Sunday eased the rules of the ongoing exercise for the Bihar voters. Now, in an advertisement carried in Hindi newspapers, Bihar Chief Electoral Officer has now asked the voters to submit forms without the required documents, which can be submitted later. And what the advertisement says, and I'm going to quote, as soon as you receive the enumeration form from the BLO, fill it immediately and submit it to the BLO along with the required documents and the photograph. This is what the advertisement has said. And then later on, it says that if you do not have the necessary documents, then submit only the filled enumeration form to the BLO. And then it later on says that if you provide the required documents, it will help the electoral registration officer to process your application more easily. If you're unable to submit the required documents, the electoral registration officer may take a decision which is based on a local inquiry or verification of other supporting documents. Now, this stand which the Election Commission has taken through an advertisement is a U-turn from the stand it took about 2 days ago when it said that the SIR, or the Special Intensive Revision exercise, is going on smoothly. Now, much of protest has happened on the ground. There have been election data scientists who have been speaking, political parties have been speaking, that how the citizenship will be taken away from the citizens, how they will be devoid of their voting rights. It's almost like creating a new category of second class citizens. This is the fear which has been expressed all along. And now suddenly you see a new advertisement. What does it really mean? And what we are hearing from the sources now is that there's going to be a nationwide protest on this, starting from Bihar, because as everybody knows, that SIR is an exercise which is going to be extended to other states like Kerala, Tamil Nadu, and Assam. So joining me this evening is Gurdeep Sappal, who's a Congress admin in charge and CWC member. Thank you so much, Gurdeep, for joining. And this latest advertisement by the Supreme Court, by the Election Commission, what does it really show? Does it show some kind of a U-turn, or is it a more dangerous tool which the Election Commission is trying to adopt now to steal the votes?
And you know, Election Commission is oscillating and vacillating from one extreme to another. It is extremely inconsistent in what it is doing. And the unfortunate part is that every decision that it is taking in response to its own planning, maybe in response to some outside orders, or in response to opposition's pressure, every decision is more sinister than previous decision. Now, Election Commission, which earlier went out into the domain of Home Ministry and put out a circular that it will verify the documents, which necessarily means that it will verify the citizenship of the voters. When it was pointed out to Election Commission that this is not possible, there are Supreme Court judgments, and its domain is not to verify the citizenship. That is the domain of Home Ministry. Election Commission and Home Ministry are not one and the same thing, even if in today's functioning people may perceive it to be so because of Election Commission's decisions. But Election Commission cannot do it. So it took a U-turn yesterday and said now no document will be required, no photograph will be required. People can only submit the form. Earlier decision, which was asking the citizenship documents, meant that almost 20% voters would be disenfranchised, and this is the figure which I am not giving. This is the figure which was used by election commissioners in their meeting with senior India Alliance leaders. That 20% voter to jayenge hi jayenge. It was their word. Now they have opened up Pandora's box, where you do not require any document to be a voter. It means that tomorrow, like Maharashtra, people can be enrolled, fake voters can be enrolled in masses without any document. And moreover, now it says that it is enrolling 4 lakh volunteers to do its job. Who are these 4 lakh volunteers who will help in collecting these forms? Who are these 4 lakh volunteers? When were they appointed? When was Election Commission's advertisement made public that it requires 4 lakh volunteers? How do these 4 lakh people got this information that they have to apply it to Election Commission when rest of the Bihar population had no idea? Who carried out this secretive exercise of enrolling 4 lakh people? From where these 4 lakh people have come? It has not come from Congress. It has not come from RJD. It has not come from left parties in Bihar. None of these parties, which are almost equal in vote share to the ruling combine. None of our workers know it. None of our voters know it. So who are these 4 lakh volunteers who will now assist Election Commission to enroll voters without any papers? Is it a new method to create a huge number of fake voters? And our question is, what was the Election Commission's trigger to do this exercise? Election Commission completed its revision of rolls 2 months back. Why has it set aside its own exercise? Why is there this supreme lack of confidence in its own work, which was done just 2 months back, that it is forced to now discover new methods either to disenfranchise or open a Pandora box for people without papers?
No, but what I want to ask you is that the circular which came out on 24th of June and now the advertisement which has come out, it clearly shows a U-turn. But is this U-turn now more dangerous? What are your fears as a political party? What do you think can the Election Commission and the ruling party do now after taking this U-turn?
This U-turn is equally dangerous. Number one, What they are doing is they have said that those who are not submitting papers, they will be examined separately. What does this separately mean? Because 25th, 24th of July, this exercise will finish. And 1st August, draft electoral rolls are to be published. This is the Election Commission's timeline. So within 6 days, are they going to do a separate exercise? Election Commission has not answered to that. What is that separate exercise? Number two, what happened in Maharashtra? We have been raising questions that large number of voters were deleted by using Form 8, and they were deleted without following the standard operating protocol of Election Commission, which says that before deleting a voter's name by getting Form 8, Election Commission has to send a registered speed post, and if that speed post is unanswered, the BLO has to go to the house of that voter and give a written report. In Uttarakhand, when Election Commission was not cooperating, 4,000 voters whose name were deleted have filed RTIs asking ki when did Election Commission send us the speed post? Please give us a copy of that. And what was the BLO's report? When did BLO visit my house? And what did he tell about me? So there's a paper trail. Paper trail about speed post. There's a paper trail about BLO visit. Paper trail about his report. So it is being asked in the RTI. Election Commission has refused to give that paper. Now with this new decision of Election Commission that you just have to fill form without photograph, that requirement of paper trail has also ended. Now it means all those 4 lakh volunteers can get any number of form filled and get them registered as voters. That is our question. So earlier,
After
earlier
the
disenfranchisement was happening.
no,
Now
so which means
fake voters threat has come up.
right. So that's what exactly I was asking. That now your worry is that large number of fake voters will get manufactured because people don't need to submit their documents. It is only that they have to fill up the enumeration forms, and BLOs will do whatever they want at their will.
Our question is simple. Election Commission did a survey 6 months back in Bihar. Election Commission revised its roles 2 months back. Why can't that be the basis for conducting these elections? Why in the midst of monsoon, when even the collectors can't go to the last village, when there is a flood situation in Bihar, why in such a situation has Election Commission come out with a new procedure, and that procedure it has taken a U-turn and has come up with yet another new procedure. So Election Commission has no faith in its April revision of rules. It has no faith in its 25 June instructions. And now it has come up with a new set of instructions. So what is this Election Commission? Why can't it think through what it wants to do? This thing is, what is the need for revision of roles at the 11th hour? It is
No, but
only sending everybody into chaos.
I'm just reminded of an English phrase, when a child is caught with his hand in the cookie jar. It's almost like that. Do you see a situation like that where Election Commission is caught committing few crimes? When it's caught, then it goes on the back foot, and then it again revises its instructions. It's a similar kind of a situation. So do you see this Election Commission like a child with a hand in the cookie jar, almost, which is caught by the political parties?
That's a very apt description. That's a very apt description. Because when we raised Maharashtra issue, then what was Election Commission response? That we will link Aadhaar card to voter list. Congress party supported it with some caveat, but we supported that proposal. That Aadhaar card is a vast exercise done in this country where even biometrics have been collected, where the residence proof, date of birth, everything has been collected. And a database, secure database is there as per government's own admission. So when Election Commission said we'll take Aadhaar card and link it to voter list, we welcomed it. Now, in this SIR, they say Aadhaar card is not valid. So either your first stand was okay or your current stand is okay. When we raised this issue of duplicate EPIC numbers, EPIC numbers, Election Commission came out and said, we have done our exercise. It came out with a full press release saying that the problem of EPIC has been solved. There'll be no duplicate EPICs. We said, okay. Now Election Commission says, because of migrant voters duplicacy, we need to do SIR. So either you cleanse the system 2 months back, EPIC, or you have not done so. If you have not done so, why did you claim? What was it press release for? Again, Election Commission says that it would now videograph every single booth when we said that after 5 p.m. the voter pattern is not what we believe is true. So it said, okay, we were photographing 50% of booths. Now we will videograph all the booths. But when court said that you have to share this videography, they just gave a order that videos will be deleted after 45 days and it will not be shared. If the videos are not to be shared, if the videos are not to be retained, why are you saying that we'll do the videography? So on every step, Election Commission is coming out not just confused, but is coming out as a scheming Election Commission. When Election Commission says that in Bihar, all those voters born between 87 and 2003 will be required to submit the birth certificates of their parents. Then it was belligerent in its meeting with India Alliance leaders that this is the right thing to do. Belligerent to the extent that it actually became not an empire, but a player in this entire thing. We have never seen such an election commission having such a meeting on a discordant note, on a belligerent note. It kept on defending its stand that we have done the right thing. And 2 days later, they quietly issue an advertisement and say, forget about birth certificate of parents. Now you need not give any paper about your thing also.
Yeah.
No paper, no photo. So election commission can't be right both ways. That is the
But
problem.
we've seen the elections of Haryana, the Lok Sabha elections, Maharashtra, Delhi, and throughout those elections, I consistently have been raising the issues of Form 7, Form 8, Form 17C on various platforms, not just this platform. And consistently, we've been raising this point that these are the forms with which the Election Commission and the BJP together have been trying to steal the votes. Now, of course, all that is in the public domain, and even Election Commission knows that they are caught already, the manner in which they were stealing the votes. So do you think that this SIR, or the Special Intensive Revision exercise of the electoral rolls, is just another new methodology to confuse the voters, to confuse the political parties, and not give them enough time, and which is why there's just 1 month time so that everybody is caught off guard and they are able to consummate whatever they want on the ground?
You're right. Thanks to journalists like you, that Form 6, Form 7, Form 8 have become an issue. Aware voters now know that there's a lot of mischief that was happening under the guise of Form 6, 7, 8. And we have been saying that Election Commission should share that data. There's a paper trail. So now with this SIR, they've just done away with the Form 6, 7, 8. Now SIR means that through this summary revision, the voters list can be added, voters name can be added, voters name can be deleted. So this is a sinister response to what we were raising. It is not a methodology to confuse voters. It is a methodology to cleanse the voting list. Voting list is being cleansed. Our question in that day, in the meeting with India Alliance leaders last week, 4 days back, the election commissioner said that 20% votes will be weeded out. How has election commission arrived on this 20% figure? What is the input that they've got? Who has given them this input? Has this input come from election commission's own surveys? When was those surveys done? Has this input come from any government agency? Which is that government agency? If government agency has given this data of 20% expected weeding out, then from where did government agency get this data? Has any survey been done in Bihar that 20% voters will be weeded out? How can election commission be so sure that 20% is the figure? How did they arrive? Are they under some instructions? Who has given them the instructions? These are the questions we were raising. Election commission, by now, its entire vacillation is now proving our point correct, that it has not thought through. It is only acting on maybe trying to become, instead of an umpire, a player. And in any game, if the umpire starts playing, the whole sanctity of that match goes away. Here, election commission cannot be a player.
But Gurdeep, what is the way out now? There is a legal battle, there is a street battle. Both will play out, I guess, simultaneously. But how hopeful are you that the courts will intervene and stall SIR completely? Because what we have seen in the past, that as far as the election petitions are concerned, or any issue which is related to the election commission, whether it is the appointment of the chief election commissioner or the election commissioners, or it is the case with the VVPAT or any other thing, the courts have been going very, very slow, or rather at a snail's pace, showing utter disinterest, showing utter disinclination to tackle those issues. So, are you hopeful that the courts will intervene? And if that is not the case, what is the option before the political parties there?
Nilu, for the political parties, courts are not the only options. Our courts are people of this country, people of Bihar. We are going to them. On 9th, we are coming out on the streets. There's a Chakka Jam announced by India Alliance in Bihar on 9th. And we are going to streets because this is people's issue. We have gone to court. We'll be going to court today. Our approach towards court is because in 1995, also Supreme Court gave an order that Election Commission cannot be an arbitrator in the matter of citizenship. It cannot sit in judgment over the citizenship of any citizen. There's a Supreme Court judgment. Now it is up to the Supreme Court to defend its own judgment. But we are not relying only on that. We are relying on public pressure. We are relying on agitation. Because for a political party, as long as people are with us, the democracy is safe. Democracy is not the sole purview of political parties. It is people who are the stakeholders.
You said that there is a Chakka Jam which is announced for 9th, but I'm sure the one-day protest will just become as ornamental and ceremonial as any other protest which happens just for a day. So, and with the little time the political parties have, with the little time the elections are to commence, do you think that you will be able to sustain a long and a long campaign on this, so that there's enough pressure built on the election commission?
You just see election commission's own response over last 4 days. Is it not feeling the heat? Why is it taking U-turns? B, this is not one-off thing that we are doing. This pressure on election commission will continue because this is a question of life and death of democracy in Bihar. It is a question of fundamental right of the voter. It is a question of every citizen's right to vote. So this fight is not going to be a symbolic fight. There'll be enough agitation on ground to ensure that election commission steps back from the mischief that it has been playing.
What are the worries now? Now, as far as the citizenship of the voters is concerned, as far as the voting rights of the people are concerned, is there a fear still lurking large that the voting rights will be taken away, citizenship will be taken away, and it's almost like a demonetization plus NRC moment for Bihar, and which is going to be clearly replicated in other states?
Well, this is not an apprehension. The very fact that Election Commission has 4 lakh volunteers, which we do not know who they are, adds fuel to the fire. Who are these 4 lakh volunteers who are going to process those papers, helping the officers to process those papers? Why has the Election Commission selected these 4 lakh people in a clandestine manner? Election Commission's own website, if you go, Bihar's Election Commission's website, it has all the names of EROs, BLOs, BLAs. But there are no names of these volunteers. How these volunteers were selected? And if you have a force of 4 lakh people helping Election Commission to conduct this exercise, of which more than 50% of Bihar population is unaware from where those people have come, this is good enough reason to doubt the entire process. So it is a process which earlier was to disenfranchise at least 20% of voters as per the data given by Election Commission. And now it's an exercise which opens gate for registration of fake voters without paper trail. So either way, it's a wrong decision. We appeal to Election Commission that it has revised its voter list only 2 months back. Have some faith in your own people. Have some faith in your own institution. Election Commission represents a very, very respected institution which has helped democracy grow in this country. This is the same election commission which conducted the elections in 1951 when the adult franchise was given for the first time in this country in the history, with 85% people who were illiterate, who did not know what voting means, who had no concept of voting. They had never voted in their life. And election commission went around and enrolled
No,
the
but
entire
Gurdeep,
voters. If election commission that time went around and started verifying the citizenship of people who came from 565 princely states. They were not part
no,
of India before that.
Gurdeep,
क्या
do you
होता है
think
देश
that
में?
election, no, but do you think election commission or for that matter, even BJP has any regard for the 1951 election process? But the question is that these 4 lakh volunteers you're talking about, they are very active on the ground. They are working in cahoots with the election commission and the BJP. What is the counter plan from the opposition parties? Of course, the Chakka Jam is there, the protest is going to be there, but will that be enough to counter this huge, colossal fraud machinery which is so active now? You have 4 lakh volunteers, you have a colossal election commission, you have a ruling party, and what will the opposition parties do except for going on the street?
No, 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 no. Election party, political parties, when they go on the street, it is not except from going on the streets. It is mass mobilization. And please do not undervalue the importance of mass mobilization in this country in
No, I'm
democracy.
not.
It is
I'm
not
not
just.
undervaluing
It
it
is
at
not
all.
just
I'm just saying,
the.
what is
No,
the
no, no.
counter plan?
There's no. This is the plan. There's enough pressure at every level now. Courts, media, ground. What else? What else do you expect political parties to do? And these are not small matters. This entire exercise will have to be rolled back by election commission. Mark my words today. Like it has taken a U-turn yesterday, it will take more U-turns. We only hope that election commission learns from these mistakes because it is the umpire in this great match of democracy in this country. You said they don't mind about 1951-52, but they have to be reminded. They have to be reminded that they represent an institution which is accountable to Constitution of India. And tomorrow, if they do not honor that, beyond a point, a stage comes when there will be repercussions at every level. So this has to be considered by every constitutional institution which has got a constitutional mandate to do things. And election political parties, when they agitate, they remind those institutions of their mandate.
There is also another fear which people have been talking about, that if the citizenship of the people is taken away, the voting rights is taken away, what will those citizens do? Where will they go? Because it creates a separate category of second class citizens who will have no documents, who will have a non existential entity in a way in the country. So, are they all going to be put up in the detention centers? What we saw during the NRC, what happened in Assam? Are we going to see that replicated in the entire country? And are these fears misplaced then?
This is what we say that election commission, when it overstepped its boundaries and went into the domain of home ministry, where it starts questioning the citizenship of people, it has not thought through. And when an institutional of the stature of election commission of India does not think through its decision, it means that either it is incompetent or it is acting on directions of somebody. Now here, if 20% people's voting rights are taken away, saying that you have not been able to prove your citizenship, basically by saying that those documents that you are giving are not the proof for your citizenship and we are taking away your voting right, then there will be repercussions for those people, because then the question on their citizenship will be there for every other thing. And there's no recourse to them. There's no recourse which has been spelled out to them. And that is why precisely even the courts are going to strike it down, because election commission's role is to ensure that every adult in this country votes. It has no right to sit in judgment on the citizenship of a person. That is the sole domain of the home ministry of this country. And that is why election commission will have to roll back. That is why yesterday also it partially rolled back, though opening a bigger Pandora box, but it will have to roll back.
Okay, so you are 100% confident that they will have to roll back. Are you saying that the courts will also intervene, or is it only because of the public pressure, the pressure of the political parties, that they will be able to roll back?
As a political person, I will not predict what court is going to do, what election commission is going to do. As a political person, I know we are going to people, we are going talking to people, and we'll mount enough pressure to ensure that this unconstitutional thing is rolled back.
Another quick question before I wind up the interview. I interviewed Yashwant Sinha also, and he also pointed out that in fact, more than half of the election in Bihar has already been stolen. If there is any truth in that premise, I'm just saying it's a premise, and if there is any truth to that, how will you get that process upended or turned back? Because if half of the election has already been stolen, what is left with the political parties, the opposition parties, I mean?
I do not know in what context Mr. Yashwant Sinha ji said that 50% Bihar election is stolen. As far as I am concerned, I can tell you this entire thing has ended up in galvanizing the opposition parties. This entire thing has brought out that anger in people on roads now. And BJP is going to suffer this in elections now. This election, which was maybe in balance, is now decisively against BJP and JDU combined in Bihar, because after tinkering with the election process itself with the help of election commission, they cannot now go and fight with same vigor. Yesterday, when election commission did a U-turn through that full page ad in Bihar, just imagine the impact of that on the psychology of BJP and JDU's voters in Bihar. They're distraught. They're distraught that what has this happened. So it is not that 50% election has been stolen. I'll say we have taken a long leap toward victory through entire this thing, because we caught it in time and we are there out on the streets, and we'll ensure that these designs fail.
Wish you all the best, Gurdeep. Thank you so much for joining on HW. Thank you.